Call this meeting to order, this meeting of the January 7th, is it already the 17th of January? My goodness. January 17th meeting of the Open Space and Recreation Committee. We have a quorum present, 2 in person in the meeting room and 2 remote via Zoom. So formality, we will call the roll. Stephen?
Here.
Elizabeth?
Here.
Anne Marie?
Here.
Dave is here. Shannon and Patrick and Trevor are absent, but we do have a quorum, which means we can proceed with our agenda. I think the meeting is going to be fairly brief this evening. The first item on the agenda is action item status update. Just after the holidays, I sent out a request to all of the responsible party, the lead agencies, the various departments, requesting them to send us their status update for all the action items that they're responsible for and what they've accomplished or not during 2023. So far, I think 6 out of 12. A couple of them were easy because I wrote up the one for our committee. The Ag Commission, I wrote up a report for them with basically saying nothing's happening. They haven't even met for several years, so I don't know what the status of the Ag Commission is, but it's.
I want to check with you on Ag. Trevor spoke at length with Trevor at the Celebrate the Holiday event, and he's concerned about agriculture because they haven't met in so long, and there's so much that Holden Farms does with agriculture that he would certainly like to be part of a committee, but nobody's doing anything about it. I ask you because you seem to know everything going on in town.
I know that I don't know what's happening with the Ag Commission. I know that some of the people that were listed as members are no longer listed, and I haven't heard anything about.
I think Anne Marie has the answer.
Yeah, I'm working on building it back up, and there's actually a girl that is going to be hopefully appointed next Tuesday to the Agriculture Commission. Excellent. Who's a new farmer in town, and she's great. She's been really active on my Green Up site. And with the addition of Paul Knowlton, within the last year, I was hoping that would help. So I think at least with Libby coming on and Paul and Trevor, we're going to work on trying to get that committee up and going.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I do remember Paul being appointed relatively recently. So hopefully hopefully something will happen.
Okay,
good. Keep pushing on that, Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
And Trevor was missing any communication. He just hasn't heard what's going on.
Well, there probably hasn't been any communication. So in fact, he could just take the bull by the horn and, communicate to the folks that are currently on the committee and get it going. But I do know that this gal that's coming in next week, she seems to have a lot of energy and excitement for what she's doing here in town. So I'm hoping that I was the one who encouraged her to apply for the opening. So
is there a chair on it, Anne Marie, or any leadership?
I don't think right now. So what happened, it was a committee and it was defunct for a while. I think then Trevor actually joined it. Paul has joined it. Now we have someone else. So it's almost like we need a little bit of a total revamp. And maybe then some of those other people that were on it previously would get back going. So sometimes it just takes someone to.
Right. We can hope that it will, with the right people interested in making something happen there, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And then maybe next year, this committee can get a report of some action items at the Open Space and Rec action items that the Ag Commission may be able to work on. So we'll see. But for now, what got us on the topic was just me pointing out that of the 6 status reports I have, I actually wrote 3 of them. I wrote one for the Trails Committee too, since they've been appointed but had not yet meant to organize. So a status report for them is basically no action with a note that the Trails Committee is about to get into high gear.
Quick question on the Trails Committee. I saw in the minutes that it said that 5 of the original people interested are in the process of being sworn in. How many people are on the whole? Excuse me, 5?
Well,
So
that's,
You want me to
that,
skip
that's,
ahead to that, or?
that's an agenda item for tonight coming up just momentarily. An
I can answer
update
that
on the
too.
sales committee. So anyway, I'm getting kind of long-winded about it, but I've received 6 out of 12 status reports. Will be probably beginning of next week, I'll send out a reminder for those who have not yet submitted their reports. And that's where we're at with that.
I have a question, Dave, or just 2 questions on that. Who actually were the 3 that submitted them? I'm just curious.
Paul Cronoy submitted 2, one on behalf of DPW, one on behalf of sewer, and Fiona submitted 1 on behalf of planning.
Okay, thanks.
So I'm still waiting for conservation, recreation, police. A couple of others that I don't remember off the top of my head.
And then another quick question on your report. What is the actual action item, sorry, that was completed? There's one.
The one that we completed.
No, just in the tallies here.
Oh, yeah, those numbers are last year's numbers.
Okay,
That's, yeah, and that sort of leads into our next agenda item, which is the annual report. And yeah, the numbers highlighted in yellow there for the action item summary are last year's numbers. I will be updating them with I should say they're the 2022 numbers. I will put the 2023 numbers in there once I have all the reports in.
So this should be 2022, right?
Yes,
September
so
third.
the table heading that says 2023 is what the heading should be or will be.
Will be,
But
yes.
the numbers
The
in the
numbers
table
are-
are the 2022 numbers.
okay, so the heading on this should be 2022. That's what you're showing us. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
never mind on that. Because I was gonna say you needed to add Trevor, but maybe it's because it's the old report. That's why he wasn't on there.
Yeah, well, no, Trevor's name should be on there. Stephen
Yep.
had pointed that out to me before with the meeting.
Okay.
Started the meeting, but
Okay, great.
yes, that it is rather important that we have a complete list of
Yeah,
the committee
complete list of
members.
members. Yes.
And I think I must, yeah, I copied that from the previous year, which I
Yep.
think Trevor had not been appointed at that point.
Yep. Okay, makes sense.
So, yeah, any other suggestions or changes that need to be made in the end? I won't actually be turning this report into Cindy until I get the final, the complete status numbers.
I guess for me, it's just I was confused. I thought I was reading the 2023 report, so maybe once we see the 2023, we can.
Yeah, I'll admit that was particularly the way I wrote that.
Just
It was slightly confusing.
That's okay. Okay, great.
But other than adding Trevor's name as a committee member and updating the numbers once we get all the reports in, is there anything else that? If not,
I didn't see anything.
it would probably be in order for the committee to vote to approve the report with the changes that we discussed. And with the understanding that the numbers will be filled in once we get all the reports back.
do you have
So
a deadline on the reporting request? I know you said you're gonna send a reminder, but when is this report due? And if you are 6 out of 12, what's the deadline? Is that established?
Yes, the town administrator's office requests that the reports all be submitted by January 31st. And that is, I did include that date in the email that I sent out requesting the people to return their status reports. As a practical matter, there is a certain amount of flexibility with that. But ideally, we have this all turned into Cindy on January 31st or February 1st. I have on occasion been a few days later than that. But that's the deadline that we're trying to work towards.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, maybe if we're just, I'd like to see the table, before we vote on it. I'm reading now. So the rest of the report is relative to 2023. It's just the numbers on the table that are not, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you said that the reminder has already gone out or it's going out next week?
I plan to send it out at the beginning of next week.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yep, okay.
And if the committee would prefer to not vote on the report until we have the final numbers, we can find a way to get that vote done not too much after the 1st of February. We may have to schedule a brief meeting, maybe just a Zoom meeting or something.
Yeah, a Zoom meeting, just to quickly approve it.
Because
Yeah, why don't we do that? And it might actually help, and maybe you can put that in your memo that, hey, you're holding us up on our annual report. You were good enough to get the rest of it ready, and if they could just get their act together and get
Yeah.
the
Everything else.
Yeah, it occurs to me, thinking about meeting in February, that our customary meeting date in February falls during school vacation week, which tends to say that a meeting that week, a meeting on our usual 3rd Wednesday might not be workable anyway for us. So,
Yeah, I'm inclined to wait to get the numbers, and like I said, it might encourage folks to actually get them to you more expediently.
yeah, so good. We will defer a vote on the committee's annual report until such time as we can vote on a report with updated numbers. And that's likely to occur 1st or 2nd week in February. And Cindy is usually accommodating for reports that we don't get in exactly on January 31st. But of the 3 reports I owe Cindy, I've already given her 2, so that's a couple of points in my favor with her. Okay, that's good. That takes care of that. Trails Committee update. I understand that the Trails Committee had its first meeting last night.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
bring us up to date on what's going on in the trails.
Yeah, so they
Wait,
were
are you part of that too, Foley?
No, I'm not part of the committee. I actually was driving home tonight thinking, yeah, I can't do anymore. No, but they did invite me to go to the first meeting. They kind of kept me in the loop as they've been trying to get get in to see the clerk and all of that. So that's been good. And they invited me to come just to kind of get them queued up. So I met with them last night. It was the Trails Committee first meeting. There's 5 members on it, Elizabeth, which is what our charge was. All 5 were there. Additionally, Amber was there, I think, also to help them get started. And Rob Aberg was there, which was great. He was there via Zoom because he's just really a big proponent, of all of this. So I kind of talked to them broadly about what we had discussed over the past year relative to Trails Committee, and they obviously had the charge in front of them. I also brought the the inventory, the open space and rec master plan inventory that we've been working off of. So I thought that would be helpful for them because they're kind of almost looking for like, where do we start, right? So Amber was going to email them all out a copy of that so they could kind of see where, I think there are 18 or 20 mentions of a trails committee in that document. So I thought that might be helpful. So yeah, a lot of, it'll probably be available if you want to listen to it on Grafton GTC TV. Actually, it was filmed and a lot of good ideas bantered about in terms of what they, where they start type thing. So yeah, they nominated a chair, vice chair, and a clerk, and off they go. So it's great. I'm excited for them
That's
to
great.
be able to.
Up
Yeah,
and
one of the things we talked about was even, one place to start was just reaching out to the entities, right? Reaching out to recreation, conservation, land trust. Obviously, Rob was there, but still, like there was another agency that we discussed, and so 3 of them took those responsibilities. So maybe someone, Stephen, you might see from Trails Committee, reach out to Recreation just to get a sense of, what can they do to help you guys, and similarly for conservation. So we came up with, some ideas of where to start. Kind
I
of
love
difficult. They're just starting a brand new committee, so they're just trying to say like, well, what do we, what do we do? But a lot of good ideas from the folks on the committee, and they're very receptive to Rob and I and things that we brought up. So it was good.
Great.
Our work is done. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Check.
Yep, yep. Good. Way to go, team.
Yep, so that's on the Open Space Committee's status report for 2023. We've got one item completed, formation of the Trails Committee.
Good for us.
Yes, so we accomplished, I mean, we don't have that many work items to begin with,
Right, yeah.
but it's nice to be able to say we've completed that one. Anything else on the Trails Committee?
Just thank you, Anne Marie, for attending the meeting last night.
Sure.
Yep.
They're going to be meeting the third Tuesday of every month. So, and they're going to create, we talked about creating a presence on our website, of course. And then additionally, they were talking about, other ways of outreach, obviously, but if anyone from this committee wanted to attend any of their upcoming meetings, I'm sure that, any input would be welcomed. And additionally, I told them, I don't know if anyone else is on here, Dave, tonight, but I told them about us meeting this evening as well.
Who is on it? Does anyone have a list of the 5 members?
Yes, let me just,
I mean, I can look on the, I really don't plan on watching Grafton
Yeah.
TV. If you want to just shoot it to me later, that's fine.
yeah.
I mean, you're a celebrity
I
on
know.
Grafton TV, but it's not on my radar.
Big fish, teeny pond. And not even big fish, small to medium sized fish. Teeny. I can, they're folks that are, one gentleman is on Grafton Land Trust. I know that, and he ended up being the chair. But they were all very timely with getting into to the clerk to get their documents done. So they seem pretty excited.
I like the relationship and the connection between Grafton Land Trust. That's going to go so far.
Yeah. So Rob shared with them, the whole Trail Forks system, and to get that up on the site.
Yep.
They talked about a link to Cricky, how she came up with, almost like a how to use Trail Forks relative to our sites. And Rob was saying that he has over 300 trails on there that the Land Trust essentially has put up onto that Trail Forks system. It's pretty amazing, actually, the information that is available through them. So now that'll be up on the Trails site.
Okay. Anything else? Moving on to the next agenda item, which is the parcel prioritization project. I have an update from the CMRPC folks about their progress with this. And the update is that Will is currently running through a GIS model that they developed based around the different scoring criteria. Based on how things are going so far, Matt says, I think we'll be done running the model sometime this week or early next week. Once that is done, we'll input the model results into a spreadsheet in order to apply the scoring values to the model results. I'm anticipating that will be wrapped up by sometime next week. We'll also work on the map around that time. All said and done, I think we'll be ready to share the initial results by the week of January 29th. And he asked if we know the date for our February meeting. So that's something that we're going to have to figure out the best, a good date for a February meeting. But that's the update I have on the parcel prioritization project. Any questions that I should forward back to them?
No, very good progress.
We will be
Hasn't been
interested.
that long.
Yeah, we'll be interested in seeing the results.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and we do have, Shen did send out some meeting minutes for us to review and approve.
Did everybody have a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Made a motion.
Make a motion.
Move to approve the minutes as drafted.
Move to approve the minutes as drafted from
Second.
October 18th, 2023 and December 13th, 2023.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. We'll put this to a vote. Stephen,
Yes,
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Anne Marie,
Yes,
and Dave votes aye. Motion carried unanimously. And with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. I'm just looking at my calendar here.
Why don't can we finalize the February meeting?
yeah.
So
14th is Valentine's Day / Ash Wednesday. That's the weekend. That's
that can't happen. I mean, I can't make that meeting.
Yeah, I think if we're looking at a Wednesday in February, I'm tied up when the February 7th, 14th is Valentine's, 21st is school
The
vacation.
31st.
The first available Wednesday looks like it would be the 28th, which is probably really pushing it to have Cindy wait until then to get our annual report. So we probably want to look at, I've got another meeting that I'm trying to schedule in February too, early in February, which I haven't really worked that out yet, but
could we do a shorter interim meeting to get, when we receive your final draft? We can have an interim meeting in early February to review that, vote. And then it's gonna be a 5-minute meeting.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
most likely.
Yeah. I would be in favor of that and delaying our next meeting until the end of February.
how about like the 12th is a Monday or the 15th? It's that second week. The 15th is the Thursday.
Yeah, the 12th wouldn't work for me, but the 15th I think would.
How about the 15th for the rest of you guys?
For the interim meeting.
Well, it could be,
meetings.
I mean, it could be the CMRPC meeting as
Okay.
well, right?
Yeah.
It could be those 2 agenda items, just our reviewing the annual.
I'm open. Let's do the 15th.
Yep,
I'm good.
yeah. So the 4 of us are good with the 15th,
Yes.
Yeah.
and we'll check with the other 3 and hopefully that won't be a problem for them. But yeah.
So
and I-
maybe, Dave, if you wanted to let the CMRPC folks, maybe we could just have those 2 items that having them come in to do that if they're ready. That date too, because we probably won't meet the rest of the month, right?
That sounds like a plan.
Okay,
Yeah, because I can't think of anything else that we would need to be discussing at that meeting. It's just really,
And they'll be early enough to get the report back to Cindy.
yeah, I mean, I can give Cindy advance notice that
That's what we
we
do.
may not be able to get it to her. I think, I want to say I've been as late as the second week in February submitting reports to Cindy previously. But as long as, I think, as long as she has almost everybody else's reported in by then, she just doesn't want to get a huge flood of last minute reports.
Right, yep.
But I'll give Cindy advance notice that
maybe let Cindy know who the 6 people are that have to still hand in their report.
yes.
Have her chase them.
And I mean, even if all 6 come in tomorrow, we still have to, I mean, it takes me no time at all to get them into my system and produce the table for the report.
Right,
But
right.
we still have to be able to schedule a meeting. to
Yeah,
review
okay, well, we've got it.
report.
Okay, so the next meeting is 2:15 at 7 PM.
Yes,
Yep, unless something happened to force that to be changed.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
all right, perfect. Very
Thank
efficient.
you.
No run, Dave.
Motion to adjourn?
So
Motion
moved.
Adjourn. Second,
Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn this meeting. Stephen,
aye.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Anne Marie.
Aye.
And Dave votes aye. Motion carried unanimously. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Great.